a damn minute! Where is the statue?
It is time to talk about changes in Prague in 2026. In this video, we're gonna cover scooters, Airbnb, and even horses. So stick around if you wanna have a laugh and learn how to save a couple of crowns. Prague has just approved an increase in its public transport fares that is kicking in January 2026. Single paper tickets are going up by about 30%, the e-tickets are going up by about 20%, and SMS tickets are going up the most by about 35%. Here you can see all the new tariffs for different tiers of public transport tickets. The yearly passes are not affected by this, so make sure to download Litačka or any other app that allows you to purchase public transport tickets before you arrive to Prague, because these ones are going to be the best deal now. I know we've covered this topic in other videos, but just to make sure, guys, if you're using e-tickets, don't forget to activate them 1 to 2 minutes before you get on a tram or metro. It is quite a common mistake among tourists who forget to activate their tickets and they are fined by the ticket controllers. And watch out, because fines are increasing as well. The fines on the spot are going up by 200 crowns, so now they're 1,200 crowns per person if you agree to pay it immediately to the ticket controller by cash or card. If you paid within the first 15 days after the fine was issued, it is 1,500 crowns per person, and if you pay later, it's going up to 2,000 crowns. The fines can be paid online at the DPP e-shop or at their central office that looks like a villain's lair. Good luck with that. But be careful, you can only pay the fine the next day after it was issued if you are not doing it through the e-shop. They've also bumped up the price for the ticket for bringing a big dog or a big luggage on the public transport. So now we are going to be paying 23 crowns on the app and 25 for the paper ticket. But if you have a ticket for 24 hours or longer, you can actually bring one big dog or one big luggage for free. Make your choices. If you are planning to take Airport Express, think again, because you're going to pay double for it. It used to be 100 crowns, but in 2026 we are going to be paying 200 crowns. I know we've covered this before, but I will just remind you guys that unless you're staying around the main train station, it is really not such a good deal to use Airport Express. It was created mainly for people who live outside of Prague that need to get to the main train station and then from there quickly to the airport. But if you're staying somewhere like Lesser Town, for example, for you it is not so convenient. It's better to use public transport or order an Uber. Not an ad for an Uber, by the way, I wish. And something we are only anticipating, because they've increased the fares for public transport in Airport Express, is the surge in prices for Prague Visitor Pass and similar services that also provide the unlimited public transport tickets. And again, this is something we've talked about before, but Prague Visitor Pass is not a thing for everyone, in my humble opinion. If you're a person who wants to visit like 8 museums per day, go for it. But if you're someone who's trying to save money, if you're traveling with a family, or if you're a senior, 65 and older, you are not gonna save money on the Prague Visitor Pass. Quite the opposite, actually. But I've talked about it extensively in another video I'm gonna link below. One last thing regarding Prague public transport. Petřín funicular is still under reconstruction. As you can see, they've already done quite a lot, but the earliest they scheduled the opening for is spring 2026. Don't want to jinx it, because I kind of did jinx something in the City of Prague Museum, it looks like, in our last Prague update video. Their website still says that they're gonna open in 2025. You gotta hurry up, guys. You have just a month and a half left. In 2026, we're bidding farewell to scooters. I think everyone saw that one coming from afar. So in January 2026, all of the scooters that are parked outside are going to be collected and driven to the waste yard where they belong. I hope Lime is also going to collect the ones that are currently at the bottom of the river or on top of bridges, and nobody else is going to do that. They're just going to stay there and become a relic that is going to be displayed in the museum in about 100 years. There was a surge in traffic accidents involving scooters because most of the riders were intoxicated tourists. Not a surprise for anyone, right? Tourists usually don't want to follow the traffic rules and they ride scooters on the sidewalks. Why? Because most of the main roads in the city center are paved with cobblestone. So when you're riding your scooter, you sound like this. And if it's happening at 3 a.m. in the morning, it's pretty loud. Usually everyone wakes up. So the first street where the scooters were banned in Prague is Nerudova, because that just looks like trouble, right? People were riding scooters down the street, screaming at the top of their lungs, waking everyone up. And because we are now in the governmental district, scooters were banned here very quickly. In no time they were banned here. I wonder what's the next gimmick. So we've had beer bikes, these were banned. We had segways, these were banned as well. What's next? Fingers crossed for flying vehicles. We have some new things to share with you as well. We've started a brand new experience, a small group tour of the city's highlights. Of course, we as Prague guides who run tours daily know that Prague is buzzing all the time. So we thought, how about we introduce this new kind of tour that will start a little bit earlier so we can beat the crowds, and we limit the groups to 15 people max so everyone can enjoy the tour at a comfortable pace, ask the guide as many questions as they want, have a little bit more personal experience. Not gonna be like you're in a therapist's chair, of course, but it's gonna be a little bit more personal because there are not gonna be 40 people around you. We are gonna be running these tours regularly, so please go to our website and check out the tour itinerary and schedule and sign up if you're interested, and we will see you guys in Prague. Believe it or not, guys, but there are some changes in the medieval castle. Now you are allowed not to print your e-tickets. I know, progress, right? But honestly, it's a huge improvement. I don't know when they changed it exactly, but we've been told that now you don't have to print out the tickets that you buy online on their website anymore. And I think that's great. That makes our life easier. However, the info center of the Prague Castle still told us that it's better to buy the tickets at their ticket office or info centers in the castle. When you buy the ticket online, you're not informed about the random closures in the castle, so it can happen that you buy it online and you arrive and some exhibitions are closed. We've experienced a lot of it this year, unfortunately. Pretty much the entire month of September, Old Royal Palace was closed, and that is because of another change that was introduced recently. The Czech president had started a tradition of displaying the crown jewels once a year, commemorating the day of Saint Wenceslas.
Bruh.
That is a good thing on paper. However, they closed the entire exhibition of the Old Royal Palace without reimbursing people for their ticket. And yes, you could visit the Old Royal Palace for free if you wanted to see the beautiful crown jewels, but for about 2 weeks they were preparing the exhibition, so the palace was closed anyway. And they were not providing refunds for that particular missing part of the tour of the interiors. Unfortunately, there were no discounts as well. I hope it will change in the future. Perhaps the president will kindly consider exhibiting crown jewels elsewhere. There's plenty of space in the Prague Castle. I mean, it's the largest castle complex in the world, after all. Maybe I'm hoping for too much, but who knows, maybe the president will watch this video. No. Got some exclusive insider information for you guys. So there's a new EU law that is supposed to come into effect in May 2026, and it will regulate the European short-term rentals market. So all the platforms like Airbnb, Booking.com, and so on and so forth. It is quite a dire measure when it comes to Czech Republic, because currently there were virtually no laws that were regulating that, and the government was reportedly losing about 130 million Czech crowns annually. Hosts are going to be obliged to register their properties and display the special number on their listings. It was not a requirement, so a lot of hosts just never reported that they were running any short-term rental business or refused to provide certain information to the authorities. And of course, we're not even talking about all the law breaking that was done on the part of the renters that could not be regulated because technically these properties were non-existent. So what does it mean for tourists though? Now when you will arrive to your rented apartment, you will be asked to provide your passport and all of the information, including your full name, residence address, and probably even the passport number will be collected and then reported to the local authorities. That was supposed to be a thing even before that, because that's how it is when you are staying in a hotel, for example. But short-term rentals were not as strict. It is supposed to change. Some tourists were quite surprised surprised about it. And I get it. If it was not a thing before and it's all of a sudden happening now, people will have questions. And here's the exclusive part of this point. A lot of the hosts are really upset about this new law because, hey, they didn't have to pay so many taxes for literally years, and now they are going to be required to do that. So it is quite sad for them. The famous statue of Il Commendatore, also known as the Dementor of Prague, is now gone. Vanished. But not by itself, don't worry. It was actually removed by the city authorities. The statue was commemorating Mozart's Don Giovanni that was premiered right here in the Estates Theatre, and for a long time was attracting curious passerby because of its menacing look. A lot of people were taking photos of the statue. It was one of our favorites as well. So what was wrong with it? Apparently it was used as a trash bin. If you've been to Prague and your tour guide told you to write a wish on a piece of paper and throw it inside of the statue, please let me know in the comments, just for my own statistics of unhinged colleagues in the city. Because obviously it was totally fabricated and made up to make someone's tour more exciting. As if there are not enough of exciting things in Prague, besides of that. There was no legend, no tradition that would suggest that the statue was fulfilling wishes. Another reason for the statue's removal was apparently the fact that it was used by homeless people for sleeping. Like how? Were they climbing in inside? That's impossible. Unless you're an elf, which means you're about this big.
That's what she said.
That's how big I think elves are, right?
Or he said.
So yeah, I find this reason totally ridiculous because homeless people kind of sleep everywhere. Does it mean that we have to also remove all the benches from the city? Oh wait, they actually did that as well. It is also ironic that the Dementor was removed because it was also known as the Cloak of Conscience. So they kind of removed the conscience from the city. We were rather surprised by other new art pieces that were introduced to Prague in the past months though. Last, but definitely not least, to some equestrian news. In the true spirit of the upcoming Year of the Horse, Prague has finally banned the horse carriages. So if you were looking forward to that kind of activity, please don't anymore, because in 2026 there are gonna be none in the streets of Prague. And also we would like to introduce a new temporary sculpture called Šemík. Yeah, inspired by a famous legend of a horse called Šemík. According to this legend, the horse saved its owner after he was falsely accused during the trial at Vyšehrad. He got one last wish to ride his favorite horse, got on its back, whispered something in the horse's ear, and it jumped off of Vyšehrad into the water and saved them both. Or maybe the horse died, I don't remember. But I would like to think that the horse actually survived. The contemporary sculptor wanted to say that Šemík finally got a happy ending, which is why it is a horse coitus on top of this hill. Don't actually travel here to find the sculpture because it's gonna be sold somewhere else probably. The estimated price as of now is 900,000 crowns. I mean, my life. Why didn't I think of it, right? Why didn't you think of it? Maybe I should also make a sculpture. How about a giant turd that would symbolize relief? Alright guys, that was it, our 2026 update. Thank you for watching and we will see you in our next video. Bye!